Good morning all, and welcome back to KKN EV on this, again, very wet, miserable, mid to late February day. Straight to it, this is all about diesel cars. Now, there's been a tiny bit in the media regarding what people think is the return, this big return to diesels. Every car is going to be a diesel. We're all going to start buying them again. And I'm yawning that much about non-factual things I can't get my head around. Stellantis is going back to making one or two diesel cars. They are not going back into full production of diesels. They're not going back into full production of petrol, and they're not coming away from the EVs they have already. So let's make that very, very clear, because this seems to be very, very misleading by some. That, that's it, EVs are finished. Stellantis, who owns Citroën, Peugeot, Vauxhall, all the rest of the pretty low-key brands are going totally back to fossil fuels. That is not the case. Let's make that very clear. Let's move on. Now, let's face a few facts here. Why Stellantis are doing this. Over the last, I'm going to say 10 years, Stellantis have made some very, very mediocre average EVs. They entered the market thinking that they could conquer it by being the almighty Stellantis, owning a lot of different car brands. And we all know what they own. I'll put some up here, look. Yep, you can see them. Wow. They own a lot of car brands, folks. People don't realise this about Stellantis, that they are a mega international company who have invested, I believe the last figure came out was 17 billion overall in the EV infrastructure of production around all their cars. And basically what it is, like I say, they made some very mediocre or below average EVs. This has not helped their cause. Now, they are slightly getting better. Okay, I will say that. Battery sizes are getting bigger, the software's getting better, and they are progressing. I think one of their biggest mistakes has been that they put all their eggs in one basket, and they've took all of their brands and made them all into EVs. They've kind of killed their own market, because they made a lot of money, and I'm talking millions if not billions of pounds, out of fossil fuel cars. And ever since diesels came on board to be mass produced, Stellantis were well up there with Peugeot and Citroën as being one of the first in Europe to offer a diesel. I think what they did, they completely locked out and lost a massive customer base, and expected all those people from diesel to come over straight away to full electric cars. Well, even I knew that wasn't going to happen, and it's a progressive thing, and it showed it's a progressive thing, because if you look back over 5 years on how EV sales have happened, they've come on board and progressed year on year on year. Not overnight, but Stellantis, I believe they lost about 30% of their customer base by going straight over to EVs on every brand, and I think that was probably their first mistake. Stellantis seem to feel that they know they've made a boo-boo on their EV offerings in the past. They know they've had some serious issues with them, and you've only got to look back on this channel and see that one of my sons and my daughter-in-law both have got Stellantis cars. I've had issues with them. Now, don't get me wrong, those issues were sorted by Stellantis free of charge and put back on the road within a couple of weeks. They even were given, courtesy cars and whatever, and it all turned out very well, and it hasn't cost them a dime. So let's get that clear. But if you want to watch those, there is that there. Yep, that's the one. Go and watch that. That's all about Stellantis vehicles. In fact, there's two. One when it happened and one after. So they might be interesting to you if you've got Stellantis vehicles, especially Vauxhalls and Peugeots. Go watch those. Welcome back. Shopping all done. Back in the studio. Let's get back on with this Stellantis thing. It was noted to me, to be honest with you, I hadn't even read it in the media, all this thing. And I'm going to go back to, what was it now, maybe a couple of months ago, when the Euros said that they were going to drop the 2035 mandate of finishing production on all fossil fuel cars, and we still got ours, I think, for 2030. It might change, who cares, doesn't make any difference. So I think that was the thing that allowed Stellantis to think, oh wow, blimey, we can still sell cars after 2035 in Europe. Let's go back and make a few more diesels, make a few more bucks, and see if it makes any difference to our books, because our books are cooked, basically. Now, the blame has been totally put on EVs in general. What I can't understand is, it makes no difference. The sales already have declined to such a minority little, percentage. It wouldn't matter if Stellantis came out with 10 new diesel models tomorrow. Who and where are the buyers? Tell me. Tax has gone against them. Emission laws have gone against them. Basically, buyers have gone against them now. There are better variants, i.e. EVs for starters, and even hybrids. Don't like saying it, but I'd sooner someone buy a hybrid than I would a diesel. And I think deep down, most folks who have jumped ship off diesels have probably gone hybrid route or FEV route rather than full electric. I don't know. Competition. That's the other big one. If you go back 3-4 years ago, there were no real big number of Chinese EVs available. 1 or 2. Now, wow, I wouldn't like to put a figure on it. There's so many, it's unbelievable. So if you bring them into the foray, then obviously what's going to happen, prices are going to come down because of competition. And this is what Stellantis have had to put up with as well. And they've made their EVs at a certain price point, but just cannot compete with what is on the market now. So they're getting scared. But it's great for customers. It's great for buyers. So don't knock it. And Stellantis have had to bring their prices down. And this is why they think that by selling diesels, it's going to help their production numbers and sales figures. I don't see that. I see it being really bad for them. And it could push them into the bankruptcy situation. Because when they return to making EVs again, as they see EVs keep going forward and they're going backwards with diesels, it's going to cost them more money to redevelop and get back in to the production of EVs. Yeah, I don't get it. I keep saying it, but wow, my brain's fizzled. Why? I just don't get it. Yeah, you've got your moaners out there. You've got your hardcore diesel fanatics and your petrol heads going, oh, I'll never drive an EV. Well, you will. You will. If you're 35, 40 years of age, I'll guarantee you within a decade, you will have driven, owned, or been in an EV taxi or an electric train, electric tram, because that's the future, electric bus or whatever. And the chances are that you won't have that petrol car as your day-to-day commuter or your repmobile. It will be full electric. Within the decade, you, sir, will be driving one. Now, as you might see to my right-hand side, I've been joined by the dog for moral support. Yes, Stellantis. So, will Stellantis go bust because of their stupidity? It wouldn't bother me none. I'm not a big Citroen lover. I'm not a big Peugeot lover. I haven't owned or purchased a Vauxhall for many, many years. I demand a bit more out of my EVs now. I'm afraid that Stellantis have still not, produced an EV that gives me the software I want, the options, the looks, the range, the price. And I think that's been their biggest downfall. Maybe what I'm saying is why they've struggled in the EV sector and why the sales have not been as good as they really should be for what is a multinational, massive company. Nothing to do with not selling diesels anymore. It's complete bull. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with the 2030 or 2035 mandate either, or push towards full electric. Because let's face it, the people who have come out with good electric cars are selling them, and selling them very well. The people who have made poor or mediocre cars have struggled. This is the problem. They've not changed. They've updated their batteries by a tiny bit. They've made the software slightly better, but still it's not good enough. And the Chinese are whopping their arse. Maybe they feel, let the Chinese do what they want to do with EVs, and we will go back to our traditional customer base. Well, that's great if you've got a customer base to begin with, but they haven't anymore. They've lost that customer base. Melon twisted again, I'm afraid there's going to be some layoffs. I'm afraid there's going to be some closures, and I'm afraid we're going to lose some of the so-called legacy brands. I said this in my posts over the last 2 years. I'll stand by that because I still feel that the Chinese brands are going to come on board so big that some will go under. Folks cannot sit there and blame the electric vehicle for their problems and issues. The electric vehicle is the future. The electric car for personal transportation is the best. It's better in so many ways. It's been proven by science. It's better for the environment over a traditional fossil fuel diesel or petrol car. And that's now. Never mind the future as things get better and range gets more efficient and the software gets even better. Because that's where all the serious money is still going. Not in diesel development anymore, not into petrol cars. The serious money is still being pushed into electric vehicles. They are the future. Simple. And if people want to diverse off that and not stay on track, the people that go diverse or try and go back to their traditional sales are the people that will go bust and broke first. Make no doubt about it. Because if you cannot compete in the electric sector, you may as well forget it. This is where I believe Stellantis have to make some changes. Fact one with Stellantis, yeah, they've lost a lot of money, but they've invested a lot of money also. And to me, an investment is not a loss. An investment is a change of format. And once you've invested in that, then great, you've still got that chance of going forward. But Stellantis are making the wrong decision and seem to think that by making a few diesel vehicles, it's going to bring back all that profit. And where did they go wrong? You know, and again, I can only think of bad EVs on offer at the time when they first started, and they rushed into them. And they were making, say, Vauxhall and Peugeot, they were still making the petrol version and the diesel version along with the EV version. And so all the EV version was a stripped out, you know, ICE car and with a battery pack and software and motors. And that's where they went wrong in my eyes. They never came out with 3 or 4 straight EV platform vehicles, you know, straight the way years ago. They rushed into it like a lot of people have, jumping on the bandwagon, thinking they were going to make masses of profit. Well, yes, you will if you keep on this line of straight electric, but you won't if you start diversing back to old school, old tech diesels. Definitely split the North American business off, because that's just a pain in the ass. That really has been bad for Stellantis. To wrap this one up, do I believe Stellantis has got it right? No, I do not. Said that from the beginning of this post. Do I believe they'll have to make changes? Yes, and 100% some serious changes in the next 5 years. And I do not see them being as big as they are now within the decade. Going to finish this one, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Bit of enlightenment, not and you know, just based on the facts that I know, not from YouTubers spelling BS all about and all the rest of it. Just purely based on facts that I know. Please subscribe if you've not already to KK EV, and I hope that Stellantis do come out of this, to be truthful, but I can't see it. Anyway, bye. Catch you again later. Bye.